England, a land known as the best food place in the world. I cannot say that with a straight face, I swear. These people don't even have their own food. It's like Chinese and Indian, that's it, pretty much. Fish and chips, you say? Where do the chips come from, okay? Chips be from the New World. 1444 English people were only eating fish, maybe. Mostly rocks. I have it on good authority. They mostly ate rocks in 1444, okay? The point of the video is not to roast the English, though, so let's keep that out of the way here. And yeah, today we're doing a very different thing because we're gonna go down the separate path of the English, the actual English path, basically the colonial path. As we've already done the Angevin path, you have a link to the Angevin path in the description below if you're interested in seeing that run. And we're gonna be essentially becoming an economic behemoth by taking over the British lands and playing toll, essentially building up our country, as some would say, right? This does imply that you need to pay close attention because a lot of things are very different and you need to see these differences because the Angevin path is fun, but it's not the same as what we're doing here. And what we're doing here is probably a lot more fun if you enjoy playing toll. Now, if we get 5,000 likes on this video, we're gonna do a second part where we actually form historical British Empire, colonial empire. And hey, if you enjoy the content, consider subscribing. I really am trying to get to 200,000 by the end of August, which is fast approaching, and in return I promise I'll give you only the best content you can possibly imagine, at least paradox content for now. All right, boys, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do our estates here as always. It's gonna be a standard estate, of course. Now we could get rid of the English villenage if we got lucky with our diet, which let's see here. So far I don't see any 5% crownlands diet. Let's see, maybe if we seize crownlands, that's gonna change, and if we summon the diet itself, can go for the production in Sussex. Let's go. See, now this did not refresh, so we're still not getting the -5 or better yet 5 crownlands for ourselves. You know what, I'm gonna go for the stability. Why not? Let's get 1 stability from the get-go. Let's get the inflation, more inflation, and that was pretty much it. We got 1 stability from 2 inflation. We get our rivals here, of course. The Scots, the French, and the Bourgogne are the best rivals to get as the English voted best English rivals by English People's Magazine of 1444. Totally existed, did not just make it up on the spot right now. The cool bit about the English is that you start with John Capgrave and John Fortescue. Both of them are a little bit older, but they are 50% cheaper, so totally worth hiring from the get-go. You can upgrade them to level 2 if you want to, and then you would be getting a little bit more mana points for not too much extra money monthly. Take note, we start with quite a few fortifications in France. We're going to be deleting all of these French holdings because we don't need the forts here. It's essentially just free war score for whoever is going to attack us, since we don't plan on defending our French holdings. We're also going to be lowering the autonomy in these provinces since they start with a little bit of extra autonomy here. And after we lower the autonomy, we're going to be exploiting our manpower development in here. We can do it from here, the macro builder, a little bit faster, wouldn't it be? We will, however, do this mission, raise an army. We just have to have 80% force limit. We don't have any army professionalism, so that means it's fairly okay for us to just recruit a mercenary company. We're going to go for the free company here. We're going to get the burger loans in order to get that free company. Let's go indebted to the burgers. And 8,000 units. Noise. That should be enough for the time being. And it seems like Austria would like to ally me. Sure, I believe the Austrians are probably rivals of the French. Okay, they're not actually. What the F? Alright, well, I'm still going to be okay with that alliance. I also want to get the Castilian alliance, though, since Castile is probably a better ally in defending against the French expansion into my realms, obviously. Historically speaking, England in 1444 was at the end of the 100 Years' War. Just a few more years and the war would officially be over, with the English losing the possessions in France. King Charles VII, the Valois of France, having completely ruffle-schnappel-duped, as we say in historical terms, the English, leaving them with pretty much just the port of Calais for a while there, that eventually they also lost. One thing that really made the French army stand out was the fact that they used artillery, and another thing that made it stand out was the fact that the English and the French actually had a truce for a few years, and during that truce the English disbanded their troops and were not ready for the war to restart. But when the truce was over, the French were ready. They did not disband anything. The French actually strengthened their troops. They doubled the troopers. They were training their units. They were getting ready for the war when the truce was over. And when it was over, that's what happened. The French instantly pretty much attacked, and in a really fast period of time completely overtook the Norman possessions that the English had. So that just goes to say, you know, if you're English and you're fighting the French, you better not disband your armies, broski. That's the old English saying, right? Alrighty, boys, we got the Mercenarios. That means we got the subjugation of, or sorry, raise an army mission done, which means we got permanent claims on the entirety of the British Isles, meaning all of Ireland, all of Scotland, but we also have the subjugationski CB on the Scots, meaning we can actually vassalize them whenever we want to. They are right now guaranteed by the French, so we'll wait for that to get fixed somehow. We can, however, attack all of the Irish, right? So we're gonna do a few quick wars against the Irish. I'm gonna start by sending my fleet over here so we can have our troops ready for war on the 11th of December. Another really important thing to do is to set up the Protect Trade Edict in all of your states that are a part of the English Channel node, so we increase essentially the amount of trade power that we have in this particular node. Realistically, these 3 states here don't really give out too much. Also, it is the 11th of December, so let's go ahead and declare the war on the first nation in Ireland. That would be in my case Tyrone, but if you're trying to replicate this, just go for whichever one of the nations here do not have any alliances or have very weak alliances. So in my case, I'm going to attack Sligo if they don't get another alliance, or Clanricarde, or just any of the weak alliance sets such as Offaly and Leinster after 1 month. So essentially every 1 month attack a new Irish minor nation. We want to conquer all of Ireland within just the first bits of the campaign. We're going to click A and embark that unit and disembark it in the Pale. By that point, these guys are going to be movement locked, so they're going to walk straight into our units and get completely stacked and Vapenicarumed, meaning we're just going to be walking over to their lands after and sieging them down. That means we also have to transfer these bad boys, so we have a quick war against all of the natives. I mean the Irish. It is vital that we also set up our flagship. We're going to make sure it has the trade power per ship and fleet, which means that any ship within the fleet that you have this flagship in gives you 1 extra trade power, including galleys, and so on. We're also going to give it the fleet movement speed, so we got them fast boyos and the privateering efficiency, because we might be doing a little bit of corsairing, if you know what I'm saying here, boyos. Gonna get a few more ships as well, so we have enough trade power within the English Channel node. Hey, yo, what? Stop the heretics? Oh boy, are you kidding me? Oh, this is not the moment to get this event, man. This is really not the moment to get this event. Okay, we can get until the end of the game tolerance to the true faith and papal influence. I do not care about papal influence, I'll be really honest with you, because I'm going to be going Anglican, the clearly superior religion here. And speaking of superior, check it out, boys. We're what, 5 months into the campaign? We already got 5 or 6 wars going. And yes, I know what you're thinking, Ludi, it's clearly more than that. You don't know how to count. This is fairly accurate. I don't know how to count. Hey, we got the jousting in England, which gives us 10 army tradition, 200 spender, and until the end of the game, a free Ferrari for everybody that's subscribed to the channel. Just saying. Take note though, this is an invisible Ferrari, so you need to be able to see it. You need the Infla Schmagadoob site to be able to see it. Well, boys, it has finally arrived. We have to choose between surrendering Maine or having to fight the French. I'm gonna surrender Maine simply because I don't want to fight the French right now. We will still fight the French, don't worry, but we're giving them this so we have a short 5 years truce in which I can consolidate all of Ireland and Scotland and get ready for the big war against the French, in which we're gonna take likely just the southern bits here from Gascony. Let's see. In the meanwhile, we're pretty well engaged in the Irish lands here, essentially looting, pillaging, and doing all the nice things that the English historically have done to the Irish. Clearly, that means we can do the 100 Years' Wars, and we can choose to stay with the British missions or go down the Angevin path. Of course, the British missions is what we're gonna go for here. We will still need to get 20 provinces in France to advance the mission tree, so we're gonna get those from annexing Brittany and the southern bits of France. Maybe a little bit in the north, let's see, depending on what happens with the Burgundian inheritance, I guess. Slowly but surely, they all shall fall to the English moite, boys. You know, every time I see the Rotten Borough event, I think about the last name of Rotten Borough from the Blackadder. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's probably one of my favorite series ever. So right now, the only nation nation that we haven't attacked is Thomond, because they have an alliance with the Scots, so we're gonna likely do that when we attack the Scottish afterwards. Might as well take out 2 birds with 1 stone, right? We're also essentially waiting for this disaster to trigger the War of the Roses. The quicker the better, so we get it over with, and so we can get a proper leader on our throne, since right now we have the 000 famous Henry VI, known for being a complete king of England. That's all I'm gonna say. Very, very quickly, they all fall to us. The last 4 holdouts here are about to fall as well, and let's position some units next to Thomond. Sadly, the Scottish have actually allied the French, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna be attacking Thomond. I'm not gonna co-belligerate the Scots, and instead I'm gonna do this quickly, Attaccius Maximus, and I'm gonna cancel the alliance that the Scots have with the French, as well as I'm gonna take the 2 islands here of the Isles, so that once this truce is over here in 55, roughly, I can attack him with a subjugation CB and just subjugate what's left of Scotland afterwards, without having to fight or worry about the French. Come on, Ulster, you got to fall, bro. I need that army for strategic Scottish sieging down reasons, bro. Alright, they actually took it. Amazing. Now we can go over and cross and start sieging down Dumfries. Also, Ulster is going to be a part of the gang. Only the the Irish natives are upset about me taking their lands, but as always, their opinion matters very little. Since I've pretty much won the war, I'm going to actually assign my trade fleet to be protecting trade in the English Channel, so I get a little bit of extra money from that, and I am also going to be getting an admiral to help out with that essentially and keep my ships nice and safe. And it's here, boys, the War of the Roses, because both sides had a rose, a red or a white one, right, if I'm not mistaken. Looks like we got a 551 and a 024, so I'm going to go for the historical 551. Not actually sure if this is the historical bit, but pretty sure he was a 551, right guys? To get rid of this disaster, we just got to wipe out the pretender rebels and make sure we have no pretenders, whilst also having captured the pretender. So that means that's a little bit RNG, really. We could capture him after 1 battle or after 100, really. Saint proclaimed. Oh yes, this is Saint Johnny who sinned for our sins. He's a saint. But yeah, we're gonna go up to -1 stab with this. Oh, can I even do 2? I could actually, so I'm just gonna wait it out in that case, and I'm gonna get this after, so we go up to 1 stability then. And we also just wiped out the entirety of Scotland's army. Let's move down over here and wipe out the pretenders now. Can we do that peace deal? Can we at least do it? Yes, Kumbags. The pretender escapes. No! How dare you escape from my troopers? Hey, on the bright side, we can get this and this avec les 1 Stabalate now, boys. We should have enough war score to enforce our deal now. We don't. Why is that? 8192. Okay, I mean, I guess we got to take their capital in that case. Alright, now that we blockaded their fleet, so we do have the war score we need. Thomond's the only one that would care about us doing this, so let's enforce that. And next up, Thomond is going to be an integral part of our nation, obviously. There you go. No more dissent in the Irish lands, or as I like to call it, Little England, really. It's very little and very England. And it seems like the French have intervened. Okay, whatever. Nobles disgrunted. Rebel leaders captured. Battle of Limerick. Execute them. 10 legitimacy. Or I'm gonna be benign. I'm gonna let them survive. Pretender rebels risen up in Alençon. Feels Bliat man. But hey, there you go. That was the last of the pretenders. Rise of a dynasty. We can get 10 prestige, or we can make Henry Tudor our heir, and we get 1 stability. So we're gonna do that, and another 1 stability from end of the War of the Roses. So we ended up with 3 stability, my boys. 3 freaking stability. The war is now over, so we can rebuild our country, and we can get ready for the war against the Scots, as well as the war against the French, obviously. We can do the Conquest of Ireland mission that gives us 75 admin power, and we unlock the Crown of Iceland Parliament issue. So we're going to click over here, boom shakalokos. Now we're going to go over here, and the event Kingdom of Ireland is going to trigger after we get this done. Let's placate some people. Let's take some sides in the Parliament, placate more people, I guess. I don't know, I like placating people. So we got 2 options here. We can either directly rule over Ireland, and then we get some mana points, or we can make Ireland a subject. Now take note, I did not core any of these provinces up. As you can see here, I still have all of them uncored. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this because I can, and why not? Might as well, right? It's essentially free development. And I'm going to also set up Ireland as a junior partner under me. This is the best option, since we do not need to worry about the constant rebellions that we would otherwise be getting from the Irish. We're also going to be designating Calais the staple port, formalizing the separation of powers, and we're going to do the War of the Roses mission. Until the end of the Age of Discovery, we get lesser aggressive expansion. Boom shakalokos, beautiful. The best part about the Crown of Ireland is that this is a permanent modifier that we're getting with the +1 diplomatic relations, prestige, and unjustified demands. So totally worth it to make the Irish as our union because of that. We actually can also get an alliance with Aragon. They're rival to Castile, but hopefully it's not gonna make us choose between one or the other. We could call in Castile and Portugal, maybe even Aragon in a war against the French later down the line. So actually maybe I can call them in now. Let's do this next. We're gonna be releasing Gascony from the southern bits of our country here. Now Gascony means that we have 2 subjects now, so we can give out the strong duchies privilege. Before you had to have 2 vassals, now it's just 2 subjects, so you can do it with the PU and a subject. And we're gonna use these bad boys cores to get all of the provinces and the southern bits. Look at how many of them. Oh my lord, getting all of this is gonna completely destroy France, honestly, and it's gonna be a juicy. All right, we got to get ready for that though, so let's start by getting some more units and transferring some of these bad boys into the southern bits of France, or even the northern bits, depending where we're going to do our attack from. All right, we managed to get 10 favors with the Austrians, so now this war is going to be fought out between my allies of Austria, Castile, and Portugal, and the French, because I'm not even going to bother. I'm not even going to send any troops to their lands unless they're absolutely 100% required, right? So let's make Perigord the war target, and let's do it, boys. Let's do it. Let's send all of my hounds to good proper war. What I am going to do though is I'm going to be hunting down the fleets of Friesland and everybody else that has a fleet, so I make it easier for myself to land troops whenever needed. In fact, I'm going to land troops in Friesland to get them out of the war. Hey, we got prospering times, everybody. Let's go for production methods in the Outer Hebrides. Apparently it's not even a core, man. Why would you even choose this province? Jesus schmappadoops. Well, if it isn't the French fleet we just discovered here. As always, guys, whenever you can wipe out the smaller army stacks of your enemy, do it, because that is essentially the best way of winning these wars. We've been doing that for quite a little bit now, and it's paid off. I mean, we've essentially halved the French army so far. We are still on the negative with the war score though, because we haven't taken our war target, and they have made some gains against the Castilians, sadly. Now that we've managed to secure our war target, we are starting to actually get war score back, and next step is to essentially just carpet siege the rest of their country here. Let's see how much war score we got. Can we take what we want? We can! Oh damn, we can already take what we want. I don't want to take too much money though, because most of that's gonna go to my allies. I guess they've done most of the heavy lifting. I'm only getting 82 ducats. Yeah, you know what, that's fine with me. Let's actually get our diplomat back and do this peace deal. Boom shakalokos, boys. 114, 112. Can I get a little bit more? No? Okay, whatever, bro. 197,000 units we've lost, and they've lost 169,000. That is in basically the first few years of the campaign. Oh boy. We got Maine back though, on the bright side, right? And guess what? It's also 3.6 autonomy, not 60 autonomy now. Remember that we start with 80% autonomy in Maine. So getting this core back was actually quite beneficial, since Maine is 16 development and our vassal is pretty big. We also got our other core in the south of Armagnac, which is 17 development, boys. So we've grown considerably so far. And we got 2 years until the war with the Scots. We should probably get rid of the rebels until then. I'm also lowering the autonomy in every province that I have. We shouldn't have too much autonomy now, and I think we can seize another 5% crownland. So let's see our crownland situation. Oh, we gotta get rid of rebels. Sorry, forgotten Steinsky about the Rebelski. But hey, that means we're gonna be at 21% once we get rid of the rebels. So we're essentially on the way to getting rid of that horrible privilege we start with. I chose to get the 20 provinces in France to do this mission, but keep note, you could also do the mission by only having the province of Calais, or by having Cotentin and Caux, which is these 2 provinces over here, and having a marketplace in both of them as well. So there's multiple options. I prefer the extra provinces because I like to bully the French a little bit, to be fair, whilst I'm also doing my own British thing. Oh, look at Jattenstein. Oh boys, Burgundy is a junior member of Bohemia, boys. Are they the emperor? What the F? Bohemia managed to get the Union? Oh my lord, that is disgusting and not cool. But hey, it is what it is, I guess. Now, I am going to be doing something that not everybody's going to agree with, but I'm going to be culturally converting all of these provinces here. Eventually, I'm going to be playing toll, so I'm going to be developing these provinces a bunch. And when that happens, I'd rather these be English primary culture provinces instead of any other culture, so that, you know, I never have to worry about separatists. And also, I kind of just like to see one culture on the map. It's just me. I'm a fan of the one culture bit. It's nothing special about it, don't worry. Only main thing about it is that you get to see your culture on the map, because realistically Welsh and Cornish doesn't make any difference if you convert them, since eventually when we become an empire, all of our culture group cultures will be accepted as our primary culture. So I'm doing it for the sake of... Shut up, okay? Just stop judging me why I'm doing it. We also need to develop Sussex a couple of times to do that agenda here, and it's that moment in the year where the English attack the Scottish again and forget to co-belligerate Britain. It's that moment. We've taken out all the dumb fries from our soup, and now we're gonna be advancing into the rest of soup land here. Okay, I feel like we can... No, wait, no, that's a river crossing, isn't it? No, it's terrain, actually. Wait, is there no crossing here? Ain't no way, bro. There is a crossing. You know, I always wondered, why do they call this Cumbria? I mean, what exactly happens in that province that they had to name it that? You know, it's just one of those things that's always on my mind, really. Sometimes on my tissues. What? Who said that? So, because we forgot to co-belligerate the Britons, we're actually just gonna white peace them so we can attack them again in 5 years later. Hey, we got Glothion. Okay, now we maybe will get some ships captured. Oh, we did capture something. What did we capture? We captured a light ship. That's cool, man. So we can send these bad boys off to protect trade in the English Channel. The most historic moment in the history of history is here, lads, because we're getting 64 aggressione expansione, which means nobody gives a schnapps for the Scottish provinces. I wish I could take more money from them. Clearly, I cannot. Could cancel some cores instead. Is that even worth it, though? I mean, aside from my fantasy with canceling cores, is it actually worth it? No, I'm gonna go for the monnaies, as they say. Now we're gonna have to improve relations with these bad boys, and we can also do subjugaciones of Scotland, which means if we give 200 ducats to the Norwegians, we'll get the province of Orkneyjar, or we can choose not to do that. No, clearly we're gonna do it, of course. There you go. We got the Orkneyjar, beautiful, and we actually got it for ourselves. It's not for the Scots. So we're going to convert this to our culture in good old English fashion. We can also do Unify Uils, and that's going to unlock the Act of Union Parliament issues, which I believe was already unlocked. We need Admin Tech 10 for this anyway, so yeah, it is what it is. Essentially, once we get Admin Tech 10, we can integrate both Scotland and Iceland from just doing a parliamentary debate instead of actually having to manually integrate them. Hey, we can do the Royal Court. That's cool. So we got an extra 5% crownlands now. To get the mainland alliances, we need to have 3 allies, and they need to have 150 opinion of us, and they must have 200 total developed. So that's not too hard. We can just do that now. We can just improve with our allies over here. Numero uno and numero dos. In case you're wondering what that language was, it's an ancient English dialect of Castilian. I also don't necessarily need that many heavy ships right now, since I finished most of my early wars, so I'm going to be selling a few of them. I can sell them for 60 ducats for some of the North Germanic nations, so I actually make a profit out of it. Our trade power now in the English Channel is 67%. It's going to go up more after we make level 2 centers of trade from these centers of trade here. We just got to develop these a little bit, so I'm actually waiting for prosperity to hit, which is going to give me an extra 10% dev cost reduction. And actually, I forgot to do this, so it's going to be more than 67. It's probably going to be like 68, 69. It is in fact 69. I'm still gonna say nice though. Now it's actually 69, so truly nice. I've actually decided to go for exploration ideas as my first idea set. I know I probably should have gone for something else like aristocratic, so I can actually develop my provinces a little bit better, but I'm gonna be heavily and intensely going into the New World, because depending on how this run goes, after I've unified the British, I've started doing a colonial empire, I might just switch over to the US or to Texas and fight against my old colonial overlords afterwards and have a lot of fun in the process, if you know what I mean. It's rebellion time, boys. It's rebellion time. Until we actually manage to use that colonist in the New World, what we're gonna do is we're gonna send them over to the Isle of Man, and we're gonna let them develop the Isle of Man as much as possible. Rebels aside, we did seize another 5% crown loan, so we can get rid of the English villainage, or whatever you call it, basically the serfdom system that the English had, which allows us to do both of these missions next: abolish the villainage and found the Royal Navy. We just need to get 4 more provinces in the French lands, so essentially the British or Bretonian lands. Since we also don't need to have 30% crown lands anymore, we're gonna sell this and we're gonna use it to build up some buildings in our country. Actually, we can also embrace Renaissance. I guess embracing Renaissance would be a little bit better, right? Could have waited on it, but by embracing that, I can also get Admin Tech 5 faster, and I can start building my workshops around the country, which are pretty important, and we can also get this particular decision enacted, right? So now let's get with the workshops. 0.37 in London alone. That is a huge deal, since this scales, the more production development you have in your provinces, the more the workshops will be giving you in the long run. Where my explorer at, boys? Mr. Wolf, Frederick Wolf, that is the most English name in all of Germany, and I believe we will have the colonial range needed to reach. We might actually need to refresh a little bit and get a colonial range advisor. Let's see if we're lucky with that. Not on the first try, not lucky, nor the second try. Holy shit, Burgundy just inherited Bohemia. Sorry, the other way around. Bohemia just inherited Burgundy. That's gonna be vicious for me. So many of these actually give me 1 stability. Look at that. This one also gives me stability. I'm gonna go for the government reform one though. That's gonna be of great help, since the faster we do our government reforms, the better our country is gonna be. I've also probably wasted way more money than I should on this colonial range guy. I'm gonna give up eventually, and I'm just gonna get the William Cavendish here. Now this colonist over here has actually developed this twice, because the lower the development, the faster he develops stuff. So he's got a 42% chance of adding 1 tax, production, or manpower, because that's a 5 development province. So I'm gonna start switching him around. When this gets to 7 development, I'll do the same. I'll bring him to all of the other 3 development provinces to upgrade those until I actually send them to an actual proper colony, of course. The cool bit about the English is that we got the strengthened noble lords that gives us 10% reform progress growth, and we're gonna get this as well, which is gonna give us another 20% reform progress growth. So our reforms are gonna be spearheaded through. We get 1.27 every month now. All right, let's explore the American East Coast, since we've already explored the Caribbean, parts of the Caribbean anyway. Oh my lord, actually we finally managed to get a colonial range, dude. Now we can properly start colonizing. It might be a little bit surprising, but you will not be able to reach Arguin with all of this. Look at that, we got 285, 272, but we are able to reach the North American bits, namely the Naskapi. So we're gonna send our first colonist over there, establish that colony, and then work our way down from there and just colonize the entirety of North America. The Caribbean should be our primary target, since most of the trade will arrive via the Caribbean into our main node. But hey, if you want to see that bit and you want to see this amazing run continued, you know what you need to do. And until the next time, check out this amazing Angevin run. Also, massive thank you to all of my patrons, channel members, and Twitch subscribers. I really wouldn't be able to do this without all your support, guys. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.